manufacturing to China to avoid looming factory shutdowns, people familiar with the situation said. Ideas under review include producing electric motors in Chinese factories or shipping made-in-America motors to China to have magnets installed. Moving production to China as a way to get around the exports controls on rare earth magnets could work because the restrictions only cover magnets, not finished parts, the people said. If automakers end up shifting some production to China, it would amount to a remarkable outcome from a trade war initiated by President Trump with the intention of bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. By the way, remember what happened with Apple? Trump was haranguing Apple saying you got to build the iPhones here, which, by the way, they'd cost like $30,000 a piece if you did that. And Apple's like, we can't afford to do that. And so I guess we'll try to move production to India. So congrats. Make India great again. Thanks, buddy. The Wall Street Journal has been a remarkably vocal critic of Trump's tariff policy, even from its conservative opinion pages, which seem to have soured on what clearly they see as a heavy-handed and interventionist approach. Judging by market reactions, which have included numerous nosedives in the stock market and unprecedented volatility, the investment class and financial communities are not sold on Trump's approach either. In advance of the planned conversation with Xi, Trump took to Truth Social early Wednesday morning and said, "He always liked Xi, but he's very tough. I like President Xi of China, always, and I always will. But he is very tough and extremely hard to make a deal with." Details of when the call between Trump and Xi is expected to take place have not yet been publicized, but there is massive pressure for Trump to emerge from the phone call with something of a win. So the reason why he's hard to make a deal with is because you effectively took out a gun and held it at his head and said, go fuck yourself, right? You told the whole world with this trade war, with these tariffs, fuck you, we don't need any of you. And so now they're looking at each other like, okay, well, let's ice out the Americans and let's work with each other. And let's make trade deals with each other. And that plus Americans, or the world, I should say, leaving the dollar means what? The dollar is going to be worth less and less. There's going to be no confidence in the dollar. Eventually, the dollar won't be the world reserve currency. Boom. In that scenario, depression in the U.S. Then our debt matters. Then our deficits matter. Then we're in serious trouble. We are up shit's creek without a paddle. But this is unintended consequences of an ill-thought-through policy. That's what this is. They were never going to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. Because, by the way, think about it. How are you going to build the factories if now the parts to build the factory are way more expensive because of the tariffs? Right? This was not thought through. If you were ever going to try to do some sort of a trade war, you would first already have to have the manufacturing capability here, the knowledge on how to build the things we don't build, right? The factories ready, the workers ready, the groundwork laid. In that scenario, if you want to do some tariffs and try to incentivize buying American, that makes sense. But he didn't do any of that. There was none of that. In fact, what did Trump do? And this is the devastating fact that nobody talks about. Trump froze the spending for the CHIPS Act. The CHIPS Act was the Biden bill, which brought microchip manufacturing back to this country. Those are high-wage manufacturing jobs. It was 115,000 manufacturing jobs. Trump killed it. I'm going to bring jobs back here. I'm going to bring factory jobs back. Then why did you kill 115,000 factory jobs that were going to come back? I know why, because Biden did it, and you hate Biden. So he lost 200,000 manufacturing jobs in his first term, killed 115,000 in his second term. He lies and he pretends like there's a rush to open factories here. No, there's not. That's totally made up. That's totally not true. Now, other countries are going to make trade deals with each other. Now, you might have people shift around production, but it'll take years to do it, and they won't go from China to the U.S. or Vietnam to the U.S. They'll go to other countries again overseas. And so, what's the end result of this? The end result is we lose more jobs and people pay more for the goods. God damn it. And then, look, the whole taco thing with Trump, you have people on Wall Street saying taco stands for Trump always chickens out. And they were saying that vis-a-vis the tariffs, like, oh, you had a 145% tariff on China, you dropped it to 30, you chickened out, right? But what's the problem with that line of argument? The problem is you are baiting Trump to be worse. You are incentivizing him to be worse. For him to say, I'm not a chicken, watch this, back to 135% tariffs, boom, economy crashes again. So, like, the incentive structure of that particular burn might make us even more fucked than we are. You understand what I'm saying? But jobs are already leaving. There's already been multiple factories, by the way, which were going to be created here, which now the companies have come out and said, we can't afford to do it anymore because of the tariffs. So jobs that were going to come here, not coming here anymore. CHIPS Act jobs, Trump froze it, not coming back. Prices going up. Some other jobs going to China. Look what we're looking at, bro. total economic catastrophe. And then what's Trump going to try to do? Save face, lie about his meeting with Xi, right? This is what he's going to do. And then probably cause another big incident. I mean, it's that classic meme of China, do nothing, win. That's literally what we're witnessing right now. It's happening right in front of our eyes. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.